All right. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Ugh. I don't know if any of you guys have this cold out there, but this cold is driving me crazy. Coffee is ready. Yes, yes, yes. The coffee is ready. Mhm. Sounds good. Cool. Thank you, Nero. All right. Let's go ahead and get into things here. Um, so yeah, big news, right? Big news in the overnight is obviously the yen, right? Yen getting absolutely just smoked. Starting to retrace a little bit. Again, we're having some profit taking coming in, right? But 259, again, we've broken the 130 level. The comments out of Japan are they're pretty crazy. Yeah, we're just, we're not the West. We need to, it can go farther than this. Um, it's funny, right? I take mine with cream. No, just straight black. Why water it down, right? Why water it down? Mm-mm-mm. There you go. And actually, no, I guess I am almost kind of out. I refill. I kind of topped it off before Todd's thing, and then drank a bunch, so I'm almost out again. Um, yeah. So again, the other news in the morning besides the yen, and again, I love that these things are awesome, right? I mean, these are the headlines, right? The economy is advancing in an uptrend. Great, we're recovering. Cool, right? We won't hesitate to keep easy monetary policy. Cool. We believe the 2% inflation will not last. Yeah, they're not even there yet. It's appropriate to maintain easing. Japan is not in a situation to rate interest rate like Western economies, as Japan hasn't recovered to pre-pandemic levels yet. Everything he's saying is true, and again, it's just funny that there's this much coming out of Japan, right? So yeah, um, and again, talking about it here about how it is clearly indicated it's not ready to end its easing policy. So again, Japan super weak means carry trade's coming back. Totally cool with that, right? That is absolutely fine for me. Um, with that, also the United States continuing to collapse. Not collapse, but there's a contraction in GDP, right? 1 point. It was supposed to be positive 1.1, meaning we're growing. A minus 1.4 is a big. I mean, I couldn't even tell you the last time. I mean, obviously here, right in 2020, we know why the 23% and the 4%. We know this was COVID, right? This was a pandemic. Um, besides that, um, we're back to 2011, just so you guys know. 2009, right? The crash 2008 2009 period was the last time that we've had a contraction. So yeah, that's where we're kind of going into right now. So very very interesting, right? Again, at the same time, inflation is increasing. I know I'm beating a dead horse on this one, but the Fed is absolutely just off their rocker, right? For lack of a technical term, right? Again, why Blard has not been given the reins at this point to control it, I have no idea. Companies are still blowing earnings out of the water. GDP is starting to lessen. It's contracting, and yet the price index is continuing to rise at 40 plus year highs. And they're like, yeah, point five is on the table. Yeah, right. Versus trying to put an end to this now. So very weird. And again, unemployment claims super super low. So I mean, obviously everything is working. It's like it's time to stop, right? But nothing has happened so far. Oops, I don't want to do that. I just want to go this way. Tomorrow morning, right? We do have our PCE index. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes in a little bit higher. And again, the Fed's like, yeah, look, it's working, but the reality is it's not. We do have some Swiss, comments. I don't think it's going to move as much. Again, with the Swiss right now, because they did put sanctions. Again, they are not the ultimate neutrality, ultimate neutral company. They went against their neutrality kind of guidelines. Um, and and bam, I love this one too. This is one of my favorite headlines from the overnight. Although I do like the Japan stuff. I will say the Japan stuff is, you know, I like the Japan stuff. I think that the Japan stuff is great. But I think this goes, I think this is my favorite, right? Um, oops. Um, the reason why I like it is just because they all said, now they're into name calling. Now it's gas blackmail, right? Um, again, it's like your drug dealer telling you, "Hey, listen, I want my drug fix in peanuts," and you can say, "This is blackmail." No, it's. I would say extortion is better, but like I said, you had to have seen this coming. They are giving in. They need the Russian oil, and again, they already said they were going to stop using it anyway, so it's just a matter of time. But again, Putin's going to get everything he wants in this deal. And again, as an energy producer, this is why you know. Again, you're pissed off that he's doing rubles, but you should have never blocked him from international payments. You basically did this to yourself. So the name calling is dumb. Stop being a hypocrite. Stop trying to get stuff for free. So yeah, but this provided some stabilization, particularly in natural gas, which I think is great. Long overdue. I don't think the natural gas bull market is over yet, but it's a nice reprieve. Okay, I would be cool if it dropped like $2 or $3 back into the $4 range, so I can fill my tanks for the winter. I think that would be awesome, right? Because I'm not paying $7. But if I can get it for like 4.50, I could be swayed. Really, it should be down at like the $3 range. That's what I'd like to spend. Um, but yeah, yeah. So anyway, a lot of movement, a lot of opportunity today. Again, the U.S. economy shrinking is not necessarily what you want. Again, people are spending things because they think we're going to go into recession. Again, we're going to have supply chain problems. Buy everything you can now. Is kind of what we're hearing. Um, but yeah, yeah, look at that. Expected is 7.4, and it came in at above. So crazy, crazy stuff. So let's go right into the charts today. Again, we're getting late in the week. So we'll start off with the VIX. So VIX obviously taking a big drop. Again, as expected. Again, now that we know that there's not going to be a cutoff of payments or a cutoff of gas. That listen. So if Russia decided that if Russia says, oh, you know what, I changed my mind, I just want to cut you off, that would have obviously spiked this. But the fact that they said, okay, we can't use international payments, you got to pay in rubles then, and people are like, yeah, I'm pissed off about this, but I'm going to pay in rubles. If they said suddenly, like, hey, you know what, we don't want your rubles, we're just going to cut you off, that shows that there's some other issues there. But in this case, it's justified that the VIX is lower, and right now the indices are holding in the green, as they technically should. Um, Again, this data is like, the bad data is good, right? Bad data is good. Why? Because everybody and the brothers looked at this and was like, holy crap, we need a short. So it's somewhat justified that everything is in the green. And again, NQ being higher today, I don't think Amazon will have a problem with earnings. I feel like, we're not seeing the supply chain issues yet. Remember, Google had problems with YouTube, right? And again, if people are going outside and doing more, they're not watching, YouTube is not as big of a thing. But I feel like if people are still spending, right? If we're seeing, the spending still occur, they are definitely spending in Amazon because everybody buys things from Amazon at this point. If you can't find it locally, you just go to Amazon, right? Um, so I feel like Amazon should do good, and Apple never really misses. As much as I'm not a fan of anything Apple, they very rarely kind of miss. They'll miss one sector like their tablets or their watches, or even iPhones will be down for a quarter because they did something weird with a charger or something like that. Um, but overall, Apple doesn't really necessarily miss. Now, Apple does have exposure to China. Not that they're bringing the money back to the United States, but I feel like with China locking down, they may actually be harmed by that a little bit, right? But I feel like they'd find a way somewhere else. You know, if there was a time that Apple was going to miss, this is probably it. Like I said, it's not like the entire country's locked down. Um, but again, obviously they get revenue from there. So, um, I don't know. I just feel like Apple's just not going to miss. I don't know. Between Apple and Amazon, I think NQ obviously is justified to be higher today. And again, it has depending on how big it is. Again, they could even be up even more tomorrow. All right. Um, and again, dollar did it got close. Dollar made it to 103.93. It's right there. I'm gonna throw it out here. It's like, man, I don't even think this chart goes back enough. Can I do it on a monthly basis? Oh no, it does. I didn't think it did. November of 2002. Right? It's funny. Back right around here. I guess actually it would have been more here. Right in this range was when I first started trading. The August time frame in '99. is really when I started to get into things. August time frame in '99, and then this is when I started looking at it. I ended up getting some classes. Would have been '01. Would have been right around here, right approximately here. Right. I think that's when this is when I first started looking at stocks, learning about the markets, self-educating, reading a lot of books, right? And then this is where I took my first class on options. Again, I kind of looked at, knew the stock. They knew I didn't have the money for it. Took my first options class right here, right? Right in this time frame, the February-ish 2002. And you can see it was the perfect time, right? Get into the market. Look, got to get in, learn about options, and then the whole kind of drop, right? So yeah, I got the experience trading and learning how to do options in this time frame, right? And then I found currencies. I mean, I knew about currencies here. I did a little bit with currencies back here, just a little bit, not much. And then I really started to focus primarily on currencies right around here, right around this era, right around. I guess it would have been. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's back here a little bit. Yeah, I think it was '04, right here. So amazing. So yeah, price has been up there before, above 104, but it's been a long time. Really from like the start of my quote trading career. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But it's amazing. It's like, oh yeah, that was 20 years ago. It's like, wow, I've been, looking at charts and, 20 years. Wow. I'm old. I'm old. Anyway, let's dive into the charts here. And let's go start off with the Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar continued to be weak, as you can see, the 107.97. Actually, it ended up coming through in basing. Now, it was an early morning kind of hit. It did hit the level. Again, if you had traded this with Nadex, you're fine. If you took this in spot currency, you probably got stopped out on it. This one did run up about 67 pips, and it went right back up to the level we talked about. So again, it did serve that purpose well. It didn't, I guess if you use the bottom, it didn't quite hit the 23, right? I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It did not hit the 23.6. It got close, but again, if you understood supply and demand, it's an easy way to mark that zone with some confirmations in there. You would have drawn it, and supply and demand would have actually got you into this trade. Unfortunately, fibs would not have gotten you into this trade. All right, here, people are like, well, you weren't touching the bottom. There, you can see it's even pushing a little. So again, using fibs as a confirmation to supply and demand would have helped you. Again, late night rally, really kind of up, and then for the European market, the 3 o'clock open is really what turned and set this back down again. So the long was there. Again, you probably would have got stopped out on it. Again, if you were taking the reversal of it, kind of that parabolic move at 1 o'clock in the morning, it did turn and reverse back to the downside. So again, there, but not there at the same time. At this point in here, we are seeing some stabilization. I do think that this one comes lower. We do have this kind of alert down here. Again, I would say right now this green dotted line is more of a target right now than it is an entry. It was an old entry, and again, it's triggered at this point. It's already in. But I think right now we look for price to come down to 70.38. And I would use this as a profit target first. If we base, we could potentially take another long off of it. With it kind of spiking up again, it may be something we see on the 23, but right now, what do we got? Like 49 pips to the downside. It's still a decent area to run to. Unfortunately, again, you could take it short, but again, it's not the ideal opportunity. I mean, it is kind of basing here. We could kind of draw a risk zone out of it, but it's more a trend continuation. I guess if you want to do the overnight, you could look at this, but unfortunately, it blew right through the 23.6. So, it didn't even, I guess that would have been, the low would have been here. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you probably would have got stopped out even if you used a 23.6 on this one. So kind of hard to draw, a good level of risk on this one. But again, I'm okay with this down. I think this does come down and hit 73. I'm sorry, 38. I do think it pushes down. But again, it is a little bit late. It doesn't meet our regular guidelines on it. It is a trend continuation. So if you're looking for something, maybe on the 15, we can find a level of basing. Yeah, you can find a level of basing right here. You can kind of set up a Harry Potter with that to the downside. Set something here. And 1 to 3 is to that level. You can see the 1 to 3 meets it perfectly. So you could set something up here in Aussie dollar, but I do think again, dollar strength is the name of the game. I think it continues to push lower. Now Aussie yen. Aussie yen came up, and again, we don't need this here. Let's go back to the 30-minute. We talked about the 61.8 yesterday. This one tagged right at the European Open again. Actually, 3:30. I guess 3 o'clock is here. So it punched in there based in this level, which again, we talked about it. It was a confirmed level here. It was a 61.8. We had multiple factors in. You guys should already be out of this position, right? Here. And 1 to 3 is right there. Again, you just got out. Well, I guess you were out at 6:30, but it just pushed down below it again. So hard to miss that one. This was one of the trade setups we talked about yesterday. Let's see. We talked about this 92.01. It was kind of touched, and again, we were talking about an aggressive level. It hit twice. It came up and based, but again, it didn't have a lot in there. Unfortunately, it was a zone, but it didn't kind of tag it. It hit at midnight, and again, not necessarily my favorite trading time because again, very low volume there until 3 o'clock, which occurred right here. The 3 o'clock candle was right here. So again, 50 did absolutely zero. Had you been a 50% fib trader there, nothing, right? But the 61.8, again, confirming a supply zone that is confirmed right here. Tagged it, stayed in. There's your 1 to 3, and this was a nice runner in the overnight. 87 pips. So, I mean, if you guys like pips, I mean, this would have been a great one to grab. Even with all the Japanese news, look at that. This is Japanese strength coming back in. It's just called profit taking. So, again, right now, I would say look for this one probably to pull down. It probably has the ability to go a little bit further. I would say that this is probably the profit target on a short. There is a zone here that I'd be careful of. I think this level is one to watch out for. I don't think I'd be interested in taking this one long just because the Aussie dollar, I think it still has some room to run. If it deteriorates here, it's going to deteriorate here. The question is, when we see profit taking in the Aussie dollar, are we going to see it here too, right? Or does it retrace a bit lower? Let's see what this low to high is right now, where the 50 is. Yeah, see the 50 is bisecting it as well. So it's a level that I think you need to draw attention to, but I'm not really ready to just throw a position on there yet. But profit target to the downside, and again, I think this is very similar, 92.20, just like we talked about this one coming down all the way to 70.38. I think they're in the same boat, same analysis, but hopefully you guys grab the 87 off the top. Now, Euro Pound. Euro Pound is rallying. You may say, why is Euro Pound rallying? Now, it did tag the 50, which is very interesting on this one, that we did go up and tag the 50. Actually, I guess the 50 would have been the opposite direction, so we kind of have to replace this one. So let's see, we went to 78. I'll remove this. Let's go the opposite direction and draw and see where we came back to. Yeah, you can see the 23, absolutely nothing there. 50 is at a target there. I'm not really concerned about the 50 there either. So we're just going to remove fibs on this one right now. Actually, we could draw it from here because this was a bit of a trend reversal. We'll just leave it right now. We're going to leave it right now until we get the reversal on the top. Anyway, we missed the entry here a little bit. And again, it was a confirmed level. Again, we're looking for the break of it. I'm fine with it touching. Again, we hit this one next time it comes through. But we're looking for a break of 84.65 at the top side. Again, Russia's not going to cut off gas. The EU is going to get their gas now. They're going to pay in rubles. Again, provide some stability because they're not going to go into a recession now because of gas, right? Remember, it was if Russia turned Germany's gas off, they were going to see a recession and a 5% contraction of GDP. They're gonna give in and they're gonna pay. So they're gonna try to avoid recession, which again, that's positive. It should be rallying up. Now, is the crisis over? No. Again, I think a break of 84.65 is great. And again, 85.09 up top is a level that we've already had one confirmation off of. So we are looking for shorts if we can come back up. And by chance, and actually, you know what? Let's just throw that on there so we don't miss this one. Here. Just put it in there short. There we go. Got an alert up top for that one. Now you're again, obviously also blowing higher. And again, we finally broke through. It didn't really break. It did like the sideways, like, yep, we got no movement. So we can remove the channeling now. We don't really need the fibs. We touched the 61 is what it rolled off of. I wouldn't have used that zone. I was looking for this zone up here, so missed it by just a little tad. Yeah, the baby's with me, guys, in case you're wondering. That's what the noise is. This one actually, whoops. If you extend this across, you guys can see that we rallied in hard, hit it again, and pulled back. And the second it didn't go any lower, it's time to get out. Okay, so this would have been a short stop loss at break even. So we'll take that off now. We don't need that guy anymore. we are still going to hold that. Let's see if there's a if it yeah it did. I was like, this looks like it's a 50. I'm gonna look at this though right here, and we'll throw a long position in there. Right. So we got to see what this one looks like. Right. We got to see what it looks like when it comes down. But right now, if we pull back down again, we know we have a bit of confirmation here. It also, if this is the top, it also happens to coincide with being a 50%. So we have a demand zone and we have a 50% confirmation. Those are the ones we like to see. Um, buddy, what is that? What is that? What are you doing? All right. Let's see. That comes in at 136. 136.52. So again, 136.50 psychological level being on the 50 on the half mark. It is 50% retracement and it is a demand zone that is a bit confirmed. Very strong push in, base, very strong push out. Like everything about that one. How much risk is it? 27. So it's a little bit big. So that's the only knock on that one is like, it's a little bit big. So we'll see. But decent trade setup. All right. So yeah, this was yesterday. We talked about this one going down. I don't think did we get a second entry in? No, just missed it by a little bit. So yesterday at 9 was right here. All right, at 10, right? Here's your 10:30 candle. There's your 10:30 reversal. We talked about this one pulling back up to 106.67. So this one hit what noon, right? Noon 1, 2, 3 ish. This was another one from yesterday's chart school. This is another 67, so we're up to like 145 pips, I think, from yesterday's setups. One stop loss at break even, but again, we'll take that. Even if you took a stop on it, I think it was like 14 or 15 pip total. Actually, here, I'll just do it. I'll tell you how much it was. It would have been here. So 25. So up 125 pips over from yesterday's chart school. Again, mentioned this one. I don't think this one is over. Even though we're getting a little bit of a reprieve, I think the data today, the ADP number, I'm sorry, the advanced GDP, not ADP, GDP number, I think that justifies this one to continue to go lower. Now, we are in the 105 range. Again, we broke down as low as 104.30 or 104.75. Yesterday, we heard comments of parity. We're getting close. I would love to see parity in this. I think that would be absolutely unreal. When you see parity, that's where you guys start planning a lot of chips to France, right? France will get really cheap. You don't want to go east, but France is probably good. Italy's probably okay too, right? If you guys want to go to, France, Italy, Portugal. Portugal would be a good one to go to as well, right? Anything that is protected on the east side of Europe, pretty decent, right? Dollar for dollar, man. Dollar for dollar. Normally, when you go to Europe, they just rake you over the coals. They're like, the euro is so much stronger, but it's not. So we're getting close. I still like this one bearish. Like I said, just fundamental reasons more than anything else. There was that violated zone, and again, easy Harry Potter through. It went a little bit deep, and that may be the one reason why a lot of people didn't get into it. But I was still pretty confident. I'd like the level, and again, you can see we based off of it, and in reality, it almost gave us a second entry to the drop on the downside. So, not horrible, not too bad. Trying to think if I would take it again. What is this one? Year-over-year flash tomorrow. Yeah. This one right here. That could be a reversal level. There's expected to be a downward revision in inflation. I'd like to see what happens there. I think if we can get a base in the overnight, and like I said, I'm just drawing this out here, but if we can get a base somewhere down here, and then a little bit of like a retest to it, I think watching out for this news release tomorrow. We got news right there, like high profile news. That could be an area where we're looking to go long. Now it is super early. The problem is it's well, not super early. I guess it's 5 a.m. right? I know 5 a.m. is super early for some of you guys, but when you have kids, 5 a.m. is not super early. Um, that could be an opportunity to take something long, right? Just because if it does come in higher than expected, kind of like what we saw today, um, again, limited risk entry, I think, could be a decent thing. But I want to see a base. But right now, I would say continue to be short, at least until the end of the U.S. session, and then after the U.S. session is over, kind of see where it, a lot of places they could go to from there. Pound yen. So pound yen, we talked about this yesterday, right? It is now out. Let's move it off. I'm going to leave that zone on because again, it hit, based, and then based again, and then took off out of it. So this is going to be a target and potentially a. Oh, it should be darker than that. Why is it that light? It should be like 25. There we go. Target as well as a potential Harry Potter. So let's see if we go here. Yeah, it's right in the middle, so I'm not even concerned about the 50 at this point. It is in a level right now, right? Um, hmm. It almost made it back. Let's see. Hmm. Do we have an alert there? Oh, that's an old alert. We can take that off. That's a triggered alert that we don't need anymore. Hmm. Love this. The yen is weak. The yen is weak. And then it goes up, down. So this is a mirrored bottom. 2 wicks basically almost at the same exact spot means that we established and we cleared right on top of it. It is confirmed here with one touch, but it drove about 50% of the way through. We do have more, we have stronger selling price action here, candle action, than we do buying action. So, hmm, I feel like this is more of a parabolic move, right? I know it based in here, which kind of makes it really strange. If I drop it to like a 2 hour, yeah, you can see more of the parabolic move up. And again, on a 2 hour basis, had we drawn this from the bottom like we would on like a regular standard chart, we did actually technically hit it, right? We did technically hit it. So it's set up more in a parabolic retracement move, although it's already got over its 1 to 3, right? So yeah, buddy, you like this one? You're into this one? I would say that the 1 to 3 is out. Again, with the parabolic move, we typically look for the retracement, which would be back down to here. Again, I'll throw it up at 2 hours so you can see it again. You can see that that's where we're typically looking for our profit taking. Would be right there, right? That would be the full retracement of the parabolic move. Um, and again, it's right where it should be. So yeah, I would probably say this. I would expect this zone to fail. Um, you know, I think it probably pushes all the way back down. Again, this is a zone that we talked about. Again, great sell zone here, 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 here. Hit it again, and then all of a sudden use it as the base to take off. So that's where our profit target would be is 161.47. Um, if you're already short, again from up top, if you caught it on the 2 hour, again this is what happens sometimes when you get to the smaller time frames. Is you take yourself out of the trade, even though on a larger time frame basis it technically hit. Um, Yeah, I think it's a little bit too late probably to get in, but I think this one continues to drop. Let's see, how much is it? That's another 100 pips to the downside. Oh, can we get a basing level here? Mm, how much is it? Still 20 pips, but 1 to 3 is right there, which just happens to be where the profit target is. So there's another small Harry Potter in there. Um, you know, it's a 60 pip run. I say small. I mean, it's still 63 pips. I mean, I guess it should be more like this, right? Is what it should be like. Um, and again, it's looking like a break of 162.11, right? With targets down on 161.47. So it's another small one, and again, we're just kind of using it. And actually, I guess we could probably shrink this a little bit. We'll shrink it a little bit. Yeah, buddy. We're gonna shrink it a little bit, and then 1 to 3 becomes right there. There's 3.01. So that's better, right? That's a little bit better. Gives us a more decent push. Again, it just at the top. If it hits and starts basing again, that's where we go. All right, pound dollar. Let's pull pound dollar back up. And again, pound dollar also continuing to deteriorate. Not necessarily surprised. Our target of 124.66 got hit. It based on the top and then started to push through. Um, right now, let's see. Do I need this anymore? No, I don't need that anymore. Oh, it's funny. Look at that. I drew this down. Look at the 50. Look at the dark black line. When I brought this down to where the low is now, the 50 now is bisecting that level. So, the purple area up top is right at the 78.6. Wow, look at that. If this is the bottom, which it's probably not, if that's the bottom, this has us set up for some interesting little pieces here. Right? Let's see. I'm gonna go up to 4 hour. Let's see. What do we got on bottom side here? Mm, there is something right there. I want to investigate this a little further. Let's drop down to a 2 hour. Didn't change the trajectory too much. And I see it. I can. How far back is this? This is July of 2000 or 2020. Sorry, it's 2 years ago. It's 20 pips. It's not horrible. So it's there, and there we go. All right. So looks like our next downward side target is here, and again, could be a potential reversal. 23.6 is nowhere, but I really do like if this is the bottom, we start rallying back up again. I'm hoping that the sellers, there is a wick over wick there. I'm really hoping the sellers don't screw this one up for us. You see the wick over wick is just slightly above. There's a wick over wick right there. Again, if you don't know what wick over wick is, it's inside the class. Curious to see if it punches through and grabs that one. But I really like this bottom right now. Again, I'm kind of cheering for this one, hoping that this is the bottom. Again, there is a small entry at the 23.6. I'm hoping they don't screw it up. But if we can break through, there are sellers up top. But look at this. The 50 now bisects a level that we talked about. And the next time it comes through, the 78.6 is also a level sitting right here as well. So two of the levels we had marked off now are immediately confirmed, you know, potential areas. So, yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm okay with that. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. I'm looking at another platform real quick. Yeah, yeah, I like those. Yeah, so I'm kind of cheering for this one. But right now, if we do continue to push lower, it'll mess some of these up, which is okay. But again, 23.74 is what I'd be looking for my down target. Okay. Dollar CAD. So we did get a pushback. It found stabilization though. So again, unfortunately, this one didn't give us kind of the basis we were looking for. And again, I wouldn't say that this one is quite really doing much trend wise. You can see 24 hours, it's moved 16 pips. So it looks like the energy got sucked out of this one. We were hoping for kind of some movement off of, again, there was the oil, the trade from earlier in the week. I think everybody's seen this one right now. I didn't picture this one, but that was the news and call spreads. We're going to use that as a level. I'm going to turn this yellow as well. So yeah, we still got the areas up top, right? Still got the areas up top. Yeah, I'm really waiting for the 2908. So wouldn't do much until we get to the 2908 area. So, um, Yeah, I was trying to figure out if it's like, is there anything else I like in this one? Not really. Um, oops. Yeah, see that little level that I kept on there? Yeah, I think at this point I'm more waiting for this one to be shorted. I think it has more ability to go higher. That's kind of all, right? Um, yeah, yeah. Sorry guys, nothing else on that. This one I talked about again had no real interest. We had a higher time frame level. It did bounce off of it, but I mentioned that I thought this was going to go higher as well, and it still is. Again, now we're kind of pushed up in the 50s and nowhere. So really, fibs aren't really doing much for this one. I mean, maybe this is 23.6, but I just have no desire. There's just no fundamental reason why you get long the Swiss at this point. They talk tomorrow morning, but even if they say they're going to raise interest rates, it's such a low, a low volume based pair. The perk for the perk for them was always, well, hey, you know what? They're always neutral. So if there's any war anywhere, hey, flight to safety, baby. But they don't. They lost that. So, like I said, I think again we're going to see some more dollar strength. I would still maintain being long this pair. I don't really have a short target in a dollar Swiss. Anything I'm interested to get in. And again, we know parity up here is at 1. So I'm sure that there is some sell levels probably in here. Um, it's just been such a long time. Can I even get to it on a? Yeah, buddy. You like this one, buddy? Is this the one you're into? Okay. Yeah, May of 2022. I'm sorry, May of 2020. Um, here's where price is currently at. It's like a lot of like little peaks and then it gets smashed down. Um, there's just not a lot of great levels in this one. It just pops up and pops down again. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just not. Dollar Swiss is not always my favorite pair. But that's where we're at right now. And again, 50's in the middle of nowhere. 23.6, there's a little zone there. I mean, I guess if you wanted to take this one, if you're really looking for a position on a 30-minute, there'd be a pullback off of this level here, the 23.6, um, coming in at 97.15. So it's all right. I mean, I don't love it, but again, I think I'm definitely bullish on dollar Swiss. Dollar yen. So look at that. We broke right through the 130. And again, the comments are justified. I mean, saying, our inflation's not the 2% that we have is not going to last. It's not there. We've had 3 decades of stagflation. We're not the West. Everything that they said is absolutely 100% true. And it's funny how 130 was the big deal. And they were like 130, 135 doesn't matter, right? That they're not seeing the inflation. And where we are with everybody else, again, everybody raising interest rates globally will put us into a recession. When people stop spending money, Japan already knows, like, listen, we need people to spend money for us to make money. If the rest of the world is raising interest rates, people are going to buy less stuff from us. That is inherently going to hurt our economy. So we can keep these easy policies. Now, they've had easy policies for 30 years, right? Some people listening to the channel may not even be 30 years old. So they've done nothing in 30 years, GDP wise, right? Um, I think at this point, look for this to go higher. We haven't even seen the end of the dollar, right? We don't even know. Again, if they come out and God forbid, God, if they say 0.75, this will go higher, right? The market is kind of sold in that they're gonna stretch their britches and go to point 0.5, right? Powell's gonna go off the deep end and he's gonna do a 0.5 raise, right? They should do a 1% raise at this point. With the way the numbers are, they should do a 1% raise. The fact that Bullard is not screaming 1%, I'm kind of surprised. But give him till 12. I'm sure maybe he'll come out today and be like, "I told you guys, you idiots." Um, so yeah, I think this one goes up. It's kind of the same feeling as the Swiss. I think this is one you got to try to get long in. Interesting enough, though, if where we are right now, it didn't pull back to it, but did you guys see how that kind of rolled in there? When I go from this low to high, and I go from the high, which we're kind of at right now, look at the 23. Look at where the 23.6 does, right? The 23.6 does what? It comes back and just happens to be slammed right at the 130 level. It's actually at 130.02. Okay. Um, So it's interesting how that plays out. Now it hasn't hit, it hasn't come back. So if we do pull back again, that could be the next rally point. Let me see. It's so far back. I'm gonna have to probably go to like a 2 hour. Could I see it on the 2 hour, please? It's funny. It's like, nope, don't even know where it is. Nope, can't even go back far enough. Actually, I think because it's so far back, do I have to go daily? Could I do 4 hour? I feel like 4 hour I can go back. Nope. Looks like there's an okay pullback here. Let's change this to red and we'll make it smaller. Are you done, buddy? You want to come out? Looks like we could have something coming in right around, there you go, right around 132, right? Looks like right around 132 is the potential stop to this. And again, obviously, it's done on a daily chart, so obviously it's much larger. It comes in at 131.90 to 132.40, so it's a 50 pip zone. There you go. There, you did it. You do it. You do it. Oh, here, your toy fell. Here, 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 here. So I think this one continues to go further. It looks like we just broke through the top. So again, probably a decent pullback level at that point. Wherever we find a top, draw it. Look to see if we have some basing. There'll be a way to go long this one. But I think for the rest of the week, you stay bullish this one. I think the comments are going to be there. And again, with PCE tomorrow, if they come in hot, it's kind of like you really got to question what the Fed is doing at this point. So, but again, right now it's up 2.15%. I'm not ready to reverse it yet. There is levels a little bit higher up, but I would like to see some basing and some type of like confirmation that it's time to roll. We're not quite there yet, right? But we'll get there, right? We'll get there. Cryptos, and actually all the cryptos/meme stocks. It's funny. I just believe it under crypto, but crypto and meme stock all in the red. Cryptos are back down to 39,000, as they should be. I mean, the data today. They have to raise interest rates, and again, Bitcoin is no different than holding cash under your bed. You're not making any money off of it. It has to go higher. There's no dividend for it. If they put that in, that make it interesting. But yeah, just like AMC is down 4.75 cents, down 4%. GME down 2%. Dogecoin down 2%. Bitcoin down 0.4. Ethereum down 0.7. TLT 0.5. Yeah. So yeah. Bonds are having a choppy of a morning, but yeah, still pushing down. I think bonds will go lower as well. Let's go across look at commodities. So oil, come on, there we go. Oil quite choppy. Again, yesterday we set up that long from the news, the 35-1 strategy. It did go higher, right? It burst through that one. The contracts that we talk about, that call spread worked. The knockout, it worked. Even though it had 5 cents worth of buffer, it worked as well. And that one was, wait, hold on. I still have it on my chart. Yeah, that one, it was $14 worth of risk and paid out 136, right? It held. It held. So again, we were doing this one live, so I didn't take that one. I don't want to mislead anybody that I took that one live. But that was the one that we discussed yesterday. As I said, I still have it. Here's the picture of it. We talked about it, just so nobody thinks that I'm like cherry picking this data. There it is, right there. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can I zoom in? And edit. No, I guess I cannot zoom in. Oh, wow. So if I could zoom in more, but there it is. $14 risk, $36 payout. Again, expires in 2 days. It was a knockout. Went up to 101.55, and you guys can see that 101.55 was right there. Okay, so drop this down to a 15. There it is. 101.55. Got taken out of that position. So yeah, $14 risk for 136 gain. That's not a bad risk to reward ratio. It's not quite 1 to 10, but it's pretty close, right? So, always cool when you get those things. Look at that. Oh, it's close. it was very close to 1 to 10. Um, but yeah, so I mean, there's the 35-and-1 strategy. Um, definitely a fun little thing, especially when a knockout gets that close. Doesn't always happen that way, but that was the one we were talking about yesterday. So right now, oil is basically in the same place it was after the initial pop. And again, there's not really a whole lot of comments. I mean, the data out there, it justified a little bit of movement. It's holding firm at 101. The inventory report number, again, it was not as much as what the API number was. Again, Russia has decided, again, they're not cutting off gas. So that gives us a little bit of kind of taking the heat off a little bit, taking a little hot coals out there. I'm very curious to see what this does next. I would say for the week, this is probably going to solidify and stay in this range. Looking at this chart, you can see that we are inside more or less a channel. A channel between $100, right? It's 99.99 or 99.92 and 103.16. All right, all right. What? Come here. All right, come here. Oh, come here. We're almost done, buddy. You're gonna stand now? What are you doing? Here, you want this? Here, you want this? No, you cannot have coffee. He likes drinking out of glasses now. So like anytime you have a glass near him, he's like, "Yep, I want that." But coffee is the one thing. I give him everything, but coffee is probably not the. That's the one thing I'm not going to give him. Hold on, buddy. You just had this ball. Why'd you throw it on the floor? Here, let's get your ball. Come here. Here's your ball. Here, here. What's this? It's a plastic ball. You can eat it. Go ahead. Um, so I think we stay within this range. I'd like to see kind of where we place ourselves at the end of the week. Again, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I think if we can end low. Actually, I really like if we could end high. Again, it's a 78, so I don't really care about it too much. But that 103 level has been a big target. I'm wondering, again for week long positions, if we play something high and then look for this to close the week here and then push back down into this 96 range. Again, it's been a couple days. I'm curious to see if China suddenly. I feel like this weekend within the next 42 or 48 to 72 hours, I think is when we're going to get word that China is whether locking down Beijing or they're not locking down Beijing. If you take our experience in the past with what we saw in Omicron, um, again, if they lock down Beijing, oil should take a hit for demand, right? Um, I think with the fundamental factors out there, again, I could be definitely swayed into a week long position next week, short oil, right? I love to say that. That's like a sexy word, right? Short oil, right? It's like, yeah, yeah. It's like sous vide, right? Foie gras, right? Short oil. Um, I'm looking for it next week, though. But right now, it looks like we're going to stabilize for the rest of the week. Natural gas, obviously down 3.4%, 3.5. Our target is now hit a little while ago. Let's see, 8:30. We're talking with Todd. I was like, hey, we're probably going down, maybe a little bit late, but it will hit, and it did. It just hit and started to bounce off that 703 level. I'm sure I don't know, I have to check. I'm sure there was probably some natural gas people that listened to that presentation. Um, but not a bad little drop. Is it over? I'd say probably not. I think that this has the ability to drop even further. Reason why is, again, the big threat to this was, I mean, the demand's there. We obviously know the demand's there. The big threat was, hey, he's going to cut supply off. Germany, for basic needs, has to buy it. When you need something really, really bad, it's going to jack the price up. If you lower the supply, the demand exists, the price has to go higher. Now, again, they're not happy about it, right? But because they agreed that they are going to pay in rubles, the supply's not cut off. Okay, it should be dropping. Will it stay at this level? No, you cannot have the microphone. I know you love the microphone. I know. Here. You want this? What's this? You want this? Ooh, what's that? Will it stay this high? Is kind of the question that I still have. I believe it needs to come down. I would like for it to come down. I refuse I will go to straight oil heaters in my house if I have to. Those little like portable ones if I have to. I'd rather pay the energy cost than the natural gas prices if it's as high. I'd like for it to come back down. And I'm hoping that because they're paying in rubles, it'll be kind of, it's a hot button this month, but then it's just kind of like, hey, we're supplied. We don't need any more. We're good. Right. I'm hoping it's like they do like a quick fill. Right. And then that's it. The natural gas story starts to fade away. Now, reasons at home right now, it is 42 degrees in Maryland. We are, 2 days away from being in May. Right. April showers bring May flowers. It's 40 degrees. Nothing's blooming. Right. So, you know, Definitely not happy about the 42 degrees. I think once we start getting hotter temperatures again, I do think that this starts to roll back down. Um, is there a short in here? I would say potentially if this does go through, if this was any other chart besides natural gas, and we looked at this basic and say, hey, listen, there was a big push down and there was a gap. Could we retrace this gap? I would say yes. Okay. It is getting late in the week, and again, I don't think we'll hear any more news. Maybe other people paying in rubles, and then they're going to make a statement, but like, we're only doing it one time, right? You're going to do it until you don't need it anymore. A 1 to 3 is here. Okay, all it does is retrace it back to the gap that we had on the 26th. If you're looking to take something additionally in natural gas, if you were in the short or got in this morning, I do think there's probably another short in natural gas as well. Overall, ideally, I'd like it to come all the way back down to $4. I don't know that that's going to happen. So, gold. Again, we talk about gold. We're talking about any time that gold drops. This is our week-long position so far in gold. You know, if you had gotten in from the weekend down, it's about a $60 drop, right? $60 drop in gold. Let's see. Let me pull it up real quick. Nadex. I thought I had it up already, but I didn't. Cost spreads. Trying to see how many. Let's see. Commodities, gold, weekly. We started at what? They are $10 apart. So the weekly gold binaries. Oh, stop hitting buttons. We're gonna put no put. The baby's hitting buttons. It's like, do you want to purchase this ticket? No. Ugh, that's the one thing we don't want. Anyway, the binary strikes are $10 apart, right? So at this point, with it being a $60 drop, right, from 1930 to 1872, we've already jumped 6 binary strike prices to the downside. All right. So again, for weekly gold positions, we were good there. Unfortunately, there is no call spread. Ernest is bringing it up every single week. And commodities wise, obviously with gold, gold is 20, right? So it has blown up 3 knockouts to the downside, okay, from this weekend. So definitely been some week-long opportunity. Obviously, a call spread is the preferred thing to do the week-long. But again, the binaries is there, not too bad. Blown up 6, blown up 3 knockouts. This is kind of what I'm hoping for next week inside of oil. But again, right now, it is pulling back. And again, let's take it from, not its full one. Let's take it from this last push. You can see right now we are pulling back into the 23.6. So you will have some buyers, some sellers coming into this trade. I don't think I need these right now. We're gonna leave that one up there. We'll leave it. Oh, not that one. I wanted to delete. Actually, you know what? Let's pull it here. Let's pull that across. This level now from where this bottom is, 1919 is now a 61.8, right? Is a 61.8. The 50, it's kind of shadowed in here, but I think this 1907 is definitely level. If we can grind up, I think that's a great opportunity. I don't know, maybe in the next day, maybe PCE is crappy tomorrow and we see this spike up. I think 1907, if we reach there, again, it's confirmed here and here, nice explosion off of it. I think you got to be looking for shorts off of 1907. But right now, again, $60 drop, your week-long position in this one should be golden. Again, silver, told you yesterday, we're sitting there, told you, hey, 23, we're going to hit it. Bam, 23, we are out. Again, week-long position on this one, again, was right here. We're at 24.50. We're down $1. What, $1.50 at this point? Silver knockouts are. I don't trade silver knockouts often, but they are what? $1. What, $1? No. They are 75 cents. Is that right? Yeah, 75 cents. So 2 full knockouts to the downside. I actually I don't think I've ever actually looked at silver knockouts. They just never made sense to me, so I never looked at them. Yeah, I never looked at those. Yeah. So week-long silver position, it's not really a thing. So, but we hit 23. Now I have 22 drawn on here. I'm curious to see what it would take to get down there. Again, we're down 22 cents today, so it could be a position that we target for next week. Unfortunately, though, with no week-long positions, a little bit harder. I know Sean is, or not Sean, Neuro is backing the truck up and like, give me all the silver at 22. Neuro's been investing in silver for a while, but year to date, he's not doing great. I guess down 1% is not bad, Neuro. Um, it's not horrible, right? Right? I don't know. Your 1 year's 11%. So inflation's 8%, but your silver investment is down 11%. So I don't know. Could we say that your silver investment is down 19% in the last year? I guess it could. Right? We could. Right? But dollar cost averaging, Neuro. Right? It's all about dollar cost averaging. If you loved it when it was at 19% higher, you got to love it 19% even more now, right? Because now you're getting it on sale. Dollar cost averaging, my friend. Dollar cost averaging. So, um, we'll see if Neuro has his headset on there. He's just too quiet. So he's typing. He's typing. But I think this one comes down to 22. Let's look at the indices today. Again, with this rallying back up a little bit, again, this is just what happens when the U.S. gets in there. There's not really any major factors. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Germany drops opposition to European oil embargo of Russia. Hold on. Oh, stop. Stop pulling that. More paves way for next round of EU sanctions. I love this. The next round, right? Like genocide is not bad, and I love this, right? For 2 weeks, we heard nothing about how Bucha, or however you say it, right? Look at the atrocities they committed. They're committing genocide, but yet they're pissed off about they have to pay in rubles, and we're going to put more sanctions on there. Like, if you have more sanctions, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that before, right? The EU oil ban is imminent, but no data set yet. It's coming anytime, but we're not doing it. We're pissed off. We got to pay in rubles. Okay, right? Ban the oil, right? Where are you going to get it from, right? Like I said, all this does is help China. This is a pro-China move, right? We're going to ban it. We're going to hurt it there, but we need to get it from somewhere else, right? It's going to jack the prices. And again, China has so many different Middle Eastern oil companies at this point. They're already paying in rubles, or already paying in renminbi, right? I'm sorry. You want stop hitting the buttons. It's hard to think when the kids jerking my head around. And here we go. China's considering lower tariffs on China. Lower tariff. U.S. considering to lower tariffs on Chinese goods in the interest of U.S. firms and consumers. Yeah, you know what this basically says? China, you can screw us over and not buy any of our goods, but you know what? We're going to reduce it. Okay. This is kind of funny. Yeah, I hope you guys love really weird conservative policies, because that's what you're going to get. We're going to adjust imports on coal. This is funny. So the tariffs existed because China was not holding up their agreement as far as trade. We know their exports are maintaining, their imports are dropping drastically. They're not buying anything, right? They're breaking all the agreements that we had as far as tariffs. And what is our response? You know what? We're going to lower them in the interest of U.S. firms and consumers, right? We're going to lower our tariffs so you guys can continue to break the rules and go against every agreement you did. Again, pro-China. This is why we stand no chance. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm glad. Yeah, definitely moving to Canada. All right. Anyway, let's see what we had as far as opening prints today. I figured it would be red at the open. Everybody adjusting to it. Yeah, look at that. It started the base in there. 9:30, we came down and we started the base. It's like, yeah, it's going to drop. In reality, this is doing what it should be doing. This is the correct move. Are we taking headlines from a shirtless dude now? Ernest, this shirt. Wait, where is it? Here, and then I was here. This shirtless dude, Zero Hedge. Zero Hedge is legit, right? I mean, that's one of the most legit characters ever. Granted, it was a figment of the main character's imagination, but you didn't find that out till the very, very end, right? But that is like Brad Pitt's. Like, if you're a Brad Pitt fan, that is like Brad Pitt's movie, man. Tyler Durkin. I mean, come on. Did they get any better than Tyler? I mean, come on. Now, Zero Hedge legit. They're, like I said, Zero Hedge is a decent reporter. And all they're doing is just, this is the Chinese Commerce Minister, so it's not actually him. But yeah, shirtless dude is good. I give shirtless dude a lot of credit. Zero Hedge is not bad. So, I like it, man. Like I said, the first rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club, right? I mean, the first rule of U.S. policy should not be how do we, don't talk about making China better, right? Make China great again is kind of what we're doing. Um, but anyway, ES totally justified response. I was hoping to see if there's going to be a little bit the first rule of chart school. Yeah, Neuro, how are you chiming in now? I totally picked on you and you said nothing. Neuro must have been getting coffee. Man, I was picking on you. You said nothing. Anyway, I think this one continues to drop. I would say, watch out. We got a level right here. This is probably the profit target for today. Um, this is a 100% justified move. I was wondering if there's going to be anything funky or any type of trap. No, but what this does show me is that the Europeans knew that it was going to happen. They knew what the data was at 4 o'clock in the morning when you have a concerted push to the downside. You know the news came out at 8:30 and it just kind of pulled back a little bit. This would not have been anything that you were looking to trade at the open. I guess from 9 to 9:30. I guess here I'll show it to you here. Um, this doesn't meet the strategy that we talk about the 15-minute strategy. But again, here's a level of basing from the data came out and drove it down at 9 o'clock. Here's the 9 o'clock candle, 9 to 9:30. It did nothing but drive higher on horrible news. So in essence, this one did go here in pre-market for the news to come out, and then all of a sudden the market opened and it dropped. So there was a little bit of manipulation as far as the 15-minute trade strategies go that we talk about. It's not, you would not have. This is not something that you would have done the 15-minute strategy on. Had you been dropping this down to scalp it on the 5 minutes, then yes, you would have traded this one exactly as it is. So I'm not going to count out for today as far as being like, look, it worked again, because on the 15-minute, in reality, it did. It pulled back to a basing level. You can see it here, even on the 15-minute. And again, the pre-market movement was to drive it up back into that zone for 9:15 to drop. It is justified. No, 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 you don't want that. No, no, you don't want that. Um, here, here, you want this? Here, what's this? What's this? Ooh. All right, give me this back again. The IRS bothered to process the 2020 in less than 12 months and didn't audit me, so all well. Yeah, I know, Neuro. Neuro, it's all about your write-offs, man. Write-offs, right? Yes, got pulled away. Feel free to pick on me. Bad press is good press. I don't know, Neuro. I did kind of, bash you for, your dollar cost averaging of silver, right? Um, he needs his coffee. Yeah, his IV drip. But yeah, justified move on this one. I think this comes down, and again, I don't know why this is black. It should be here, and this is this color, 4148. NQ. NQ ended up taking a little bounce, and it did 845. Yeah, it did the same thing. It started to rally back up again, and it popped higher. And again, here you go. Look at Harry Potter at that level. Like I said, I'm going to remove that level. This is also not one you would have entered. We're at the 50 right now, so we'll see. It is 10:30. This would be where reversal comes in, but I do honestly, I think this one comes all the way back down. I think this one comes negative. I'll tell you right now. I mean, headline wise, that was early morning. Natural gas inventory was a little bit higher than expected. Um, BJ exchange rate collapses. Yeah, I mean, I, I'm actually okay. I like NQ coming lower. There's a few kind of crappy zones in here. Again, we're at the 50% right now at 10:30. It's there. Here's a zone. It did get broken before, right at the 61.8. Maybe that's what people are looking at. But I think this one actually has the ability to come all the way back down. I kind of like it coming all the way back down, particularly because of what we mentioned before. Amazon, and why would you bash me for dollar cost averaging silver? I don't get it. Neuro, eventually, like, I don't know. Eventually, it will get to $100 Neuro, and then you will look like the genius, right? You will look like a genius then, my friend. Genius, right? But you just can't store it under your bed. That's all. I like this coming lower. I think we will have an opportunity. Honestly, if we get blasted today and all these turn red, with again, Apple is pretty much like clockwork. Maybe they missed today, but the question is, what will they miss for? Um, but between Apple and Amazon, I mean, if you're gonna pick if you're gonna pick two heavy hitters in an environment where we know people are still spending money, I think those are two great ones to pick. I think this has the ability to go up. So if this gets smoked today, again, the ADP data was not the best for this morning. It is justified to go lower. It's a shame because, you know, everybody else over there, agreeing that, hey, listen, you know, Ukraine is good. But yeah, this would not have been a setup today. So let's see if YM would have been one on the 15. Nope. I can tell you right now. There's your 930. There's nothing. It didn't pull back. It do anything. It's continuing to deteriorate. And again, I mentioned earlier today, I expect YM to be weak. People are spending, but they're going to have to raise interest rates. It's going to hurt everybody. This one again, profit target. We're almost even there right now. We talked about 33,170. It's coming down. Would not have been a 15-minute entry today. And again, not every day is going to work. Look, we were looking for a pullback to see if we could get this short. We didn't. Its pullback was so tiny and so minute. Again, 9 o'clock. It rallied a little bit up. And I guess actually you could actually I guess that's not true. This one you could have got an entry in, right? There's where your entry would have been. And again, that was established at 7:15. The news drove it down, and then from 9 to 9:15 it rallied up. So I guess we were 1 out of 4. We were looking for a pullback a little bit further, but I didn't have that area marked off because that's where we were at when we were talking with Todd, so it hadn't formed yet. So it looks like 1 out of 4 today on the 15-minute chart setup. And again, rightfully so, got blown up. We knew this zone wasn't going to hold. Remove this. We knew this wasn't going to hold. It's already been pushed through multiple times. Um, let's see where these new levels come up at. Well, that's interesting because now the 50. Let's pull this off. Mm, The 50 is now at that kind of entry for this morning. So yeah, let's see. Uh, Price is here right now. Yeah, buddy, this one's not fun. I'm gonna say target is probably here. There's nothing really great in there. There's a little bit right there, but all the way across. It's on the 1 hour. What, buddy? November. There we go. All right. So, how far can this fall? We know we got a couple little small chop areas, but again, there I would say is our next Russell 1800. Oof. It's 60 points away. Let's see. Daily Russell ATR is 50 points. So we are kind of 1 day from that target, um, and rolling. Right? One day and rolling. So, interesting if you take this last high to low, again, the 50% comes up to be not buy side thing, but it's on the upper range of the target we hit today. 15-minute strategy, that would have been where you wanted to get in. I'm curious, let's see, for more aggressive fib traders where they're looking to re-enter this one if it does pull back up again. It doesn't work for me because it's a parabolic move, but it looks like 1871, you're going to have people going, hey, listen, here's your overnight high to low on a daily basis. I want to continue this further. If that pops up to 1871, we're looking to take that lower. I think, again, can we get there in 1 day? Can we hit 1800? I don't know. PCE tomorrow, absolutely. If PCE numbers are jacked, yeah, this could absolutely move. So, again, interesting opportunity, but markets are doing exactly what they should do. It's nice to see that they are trading it. Of our 15-minute setups that we talk about in the morning, only 1 of the 4 actually would have been a trigger. The Russell's the only one. Um, at the ES, if you gotten really, really aggressive, and again, this is more of a futures trader kind of scalping thing. Seeing the pullback from, just so you guys can see it again one more time. Oops, that's not the one we use. We use this one. 9 o'clock is right here, right? 9:30 is this right there. So we drove up into a level we had basing that was a turnaround. The pre-market drive up into the level. And have to stop pulling the microphone. Yes, I know you love the microphone. The microphone drives him nuts. So again, scalping basis, futures traders could have got into this one, you know. But as far as the 15-minute that we talk about on a regular basis, Russell's the only one that we had an entry. Let's see what everything else is doing. Twitter kind of taking it, right? Ow, ow. Hello? There we go. Sorry, he just pulled the entire cord out. Yeah, Kip was taking it again. Yep. He was pulling it and then he just pulled the whole power plug out. Um, Twitter, again, chopping back and forth, nothing bad. This one is still having some issues with Elon taking over. Apple up 2% today. Again, we kind of slid forward. The 50 didn't provide too much resistance. It did the first hit through, and all it's doing is retracing back up again. We don't need that level anymore, and it has room to run to the top side. Wow, buddy. Here, this one. Ooh, there we go. Um, I'd say there's the top side where we got to look out for Apple. I kind of want Apple to tank because I think we need to go. I'd be more willing to go long earlier today. Apple does have that phenomenon where it goes up the day and then earnings come out and then it drops. Um, but again, there you can see the earnings for Apple. And then again, Tesla, Elon is trying to sell some so we can pay for the Twitter deal. So not necessarily surprised. I would expect to see this to go a little bit lower. All right, so that's it for today. Again, you're seeing the cryptos getting down. AMC getting blasted under $15 right now. Remember, this is supposed to go, forever. GME also another day of another 6% down again. So GME also getting slaughtered, and poor James's Dogecoin. We're at a base, and there's about to be a Harry Potter trade set up in this one. Coming all the way back down. Let's see, where does it go down to? 1248. So James will not be happy about that. Wow, buddy. Are you hungry? You're hungry. All right, I'm going to go feed this little guy. I'm out of here for today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. If you need anything, shoot me messages on Discord. I will be around today. And again, I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care, guys.